All right, we are going to add some functionality to our Frogger game, and we are going to add the river and the logs. And Frogger is going to be able to ride the logs, but if he misses the log, if Frogger misses the log, then they will drown in the river. So first thing we need to be able to do is receive user input. This is going to be very similar to the way it was with Mario, with ifs for keys being pressed, but we'll see in a second that there's going to be a key difference so that Frogger can ride the logs. And for that, we're going to use this script variable, lateral speed, and you can call it something else if you want, but that's the name that makes sense to me. And let's go ahead and initialize Frogger's position. We want Frogger to come to the front of the screen, and we're just going to initialize the value of lateral speed to 0 for now. Lateral speed is going to control Frogger from left to right, and we don't want Frogger to move from left to right in general for right now. So for the up and down arrows, I think up should be on top. There we go. It's the same as Mario. We're just going to change the Y position of Frogger by 1 or by -1. Now, if the right or left arrows are pressed, we are going to set lateral speed. If the right arrow, we want Frogger to move in the positive direction, and if it is the left arrow, Frogger is going to move in the negative direction. So these are my basic inputs to be able to move Frogger. And with this, and I'm missing something, which is every time we're going to change Frogger's X by lateral speed. So let's see. I should be able to I have a bug, and that is that I need to reset lateral speed every time back to 0 inside of the forever loop, not outside of it. So Frogger doesn't keep moving when I stop pressing the arrow keys. So there, we have Frogger moving around. Now, we are going to have a little extra functionality if Frogger is touching a new sprite that we're going to make, that we're going to call logger. And I'm just going to leave this the way it is for now. And with my Frogger and my logger, looking at them that way makes me feel like I want Frogger to point up. Now I think that just looks better. So logger, we're gonna fill out this if touching logger functionality in a second. But for now, the logger is going to be very similar to what we have done with the other obstacles, the clones. So I'm going to have a couple of hat blocks, and I am going to have one key difference with the logger, and I'm going to need a variable for that. And I'm going to make this a global variable called river speed, and then we're going to use this to move our our logs. So let's set river speed to negative 0.5. So the river is going to be a little slow, and I'm going to move my logs from right to left. You can make it a positive if you want them to move the other direction. And then I'm going to make another variable, and this is going to look familiar to the obstacles that we created last time. And actually, I wanted that to be a sprite variable, so I keep things nice and organized. And we're going to initialize that somewhere else. Here. So we're going to initialize river wait to 3 seconds. So we're going to have them wait for 3 seconds. And I'm going to set my river speed initialization over here. Yeah, I'm going to wait. Let's initialize the position of the log when we start, and I'm going to put these guys just off of the screen at 111. Just a nice position over there. And then I'm going to only make 3 logs for now. You can make more or fewer depending on how many you want in your game. I'm going to make 3 logs. And let's change right by 2 and make a clone of myself. So when I start as a clone, I'm going to set river speed. I'm going to wait, just like an obstacle would. I'm going to wait river wait seconds. And then I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to change my position by river wait. River speed. And we're going to see why that's going to help us in a second. And then, just like before, if I go off the screen, loop back. Right, so if my X position is less than negative 280, then loop back. So back to positive 280 and keep my Y position the same. So let's just see if that looks right to us. So there we go. Logs moving across the screen. I'm going to give those logs a costume in a second, but I'm just going to leave them the way they are for right now. Now the logs, well, let's do the log costume. It's easy. So let's just make, how do I get a brown? It's kind of brown. I'm just going to make my logs like so, and make sure that they're centered. And I bet I'm forgetting something, which is I need to point them in the right direction. So let's point them left. Let's just do that. My logs are probably a little too big. You can make yours smaller. In fact, I would recommend making them smaller. But this is going to work for us for now. Now, we need a river that Frogger can drown in. So let's make a river. As it turns out, you could also do the river with an if touching color, but as we've seen before, if touching color has some bad performance implications. So we'll look at that a little bit in a sec, but for now, we'll do it like this. And let's initialize our river. So first point and I have a problem with my river's costume, don't I? Because I didn't center it. And my river is going to go to an x of 0 and the same y as my, and it looks like it needs to move to the left a little bit. Too much. Let's say 15. So my river doesn't quite cover the whole thing, and it's actually a little big. So let's shrink that costume a little bit. It's still a little big, so I'm going to shrink it a little more. And obviously, this doesn't look quite as clean as you would like it for your game. I'm just using this as a demonstration, but you can make your costumes and everything look a little better for your river. So that's great. So we have a river. It doesn't do much, but it's there. We have our logs now. Frogger needs to be able to ride the logs, and this is where that river speed comes in. So if Frogger is touching the logger, then Frogger needs to move. Its lateral speed needs to include the river, so it's always moving with the river. And so it's going to move river plus the lateral speed. So if you move an arrow key while you're on the log, you still move to the side, right? So Frogger is going to move lateral speed plus river speed. So Frogger should now be able to ride a log and move around while on the log.